So guys, it's been a little while. Obviously there's a lot going on in the world right now, and with coaching and just things like that, and been having to sort things out. YouTube took a bit of a backseat, but we are back and it's going to be regular content again. We're still out in Dubai. We're training at a new facility now, which we'll kind of like show you around in a bit, but it's called Max and Eagle and it's extremely good. It's pretty much like the closest thing to Ultraflex back home that you can get out in Dubai, if you ask me, because it's got all the prime kit. It's got kit that I'm used to, it's got kit that I can utilise best in terms of progression. So this is kind of like the new home for training whilst we're out here. I've got Max behind the camera, who's going to be kind of like heading the YouTube content moving forward. So he's going to be on my back making sure we get videos out. So they'll definitely be coming on the regular again. But yeah, just a couple of like little updates on me and kind of what's going on at the minute. So still in the off season, still looking to just pack on as much muscle as possible, because obviously from a competitive perspective, super heavyweights is still the goal and like the only category I'm going to fall into now. So I'm going to need a lot of muscle to stand against the other best amateur supers around the world at the minute. So that's the plan for this year. Probably, well, most definitely won't be stepping on stage this year. I think another year to grow is needed, and I think I'll benefit from it. I think I'd be getting on stage early for the sake of getting on stage, as opposed to getting on stage when I'm ready and when I'll be at a competitive level. And I would rather just take the time, be at a competitive level, and actually, you know, chase after the pro card at the highest standard straight away, instead of just falling short and undercutting my progress by continuously getting on stage. So that's kind of like what the plan is moving forward. And if anyone follows me on Instagram, you'll know that I have teamed back up with Cuba now. So I'm under Cuba's guidance again, simply because it is just what works for me and my body. I think if anyone wants to try something new, they should absolutely be allowed to. A lot of people have opinions on this type of thing. A lot of people have told me their opinions, and to be quite frank, I don't really care. I think if I want to try something new, I will try something new. It didn't work for me, and I realised that Cuba's coaching and Cuba's guidance was exactly where I needed to be. And because of that realisation, I appreciate it so much more now. I'm glad to be back, glad to be under his wing, and glad to be progressing at the rate which I feel like I should be again. So yeah, that was just something I wanted to obviously nip in the bud straight away. We're going to break it back in today's video with a pull workout. So I've been on this block now for about, I think it's like 2 weeks. So this is like my third rotation in. So I'm starting to build some momentum with movements again, which is quite nice. A lot of new movements in, a lot of new like methods of training that I'm really controlling, eccentrics and pauses and things like that. So a lot more of that in my training at the minute, which is nice. Obviously with the training footage and the guys in the UK not being able to train, this is more so just something to motivate you guys, keep you guys going through the lockdown. Obviously we're hoping that gyms will be open pretty soon in the UK, because they are extremely important to mental and physical health. So hoping that they'll be open in the UK, and for the meantime this is just sheerly for you guys to watch, motivation, and just to keep up with the journey. So we're just going to get into the pull workout and get it going. So starting my 2 pull days, one of them starts with an adductor, one of them starts with a glute drive, just because the pull days for me at the minute, I'm splitting them into upper back focused and a lat focused pull day, but as well as that we're trying to get the right amount of frequency on areas that need bringing up. For me, from a lower body perspective, that's my adductors, and then my glutes into my hamstrings as well. So we're just making sure that we're utilising, like, this will not take anything away from my pull session, but it's a good way to get one full set to failure, utilising my glutes, and then we go into the pull workout. see with this, the way we've got the weight loaded is because you can load different ranges. It's quite nice. So we load the middle range, which is just like loading the machine normally, and then the bottom, which is the shortened range. So you'll see I was pausing in the shortened position, and that's where the weight was overloaded, so it's making that pause hard. That's why we pause there. So first set on this, making the shortened position really hard. Second set, we'll just fully load the middle, no pauses, a little bit higher rep range, and just go to failure again. Won't count that last one. 11 and a half. So with RDLs at the minute, they're placed after glute drive. My glutes nice and warm. I do a row to let my lower back ease off from the glute drive, because I do get quite a tight lower back quite easily. So I do my row, and then we move into just one working set of RDLs. So I only do one at the minute. A back off would not be beneficial for me. People, you'll see how fucked I am after one set. That's exactly why I only do one set. So with this, we are mainly targeting the upper back. So you'll see I'm going to use the overhand grip, which is this. It's a nice piece of kit. This, it gives you the option of a couple of different grips, which is nice. So we'll go with the overhand grip, and we're going to drive our elbows quite high, as though we're aiming at the upper back. So if you were to do this movement to bias the lat, which I do in my other session, you would use the neutral grip, aim your elbow nice and low, because you're trying to shorten your lat. With this, we're trying to get the upper back. So I'll keep myself against this, nice and strict, as strict as I can be. I probably will. I get quite carried away. So as strict as I can be. On this, there's no pauses, no nothing. We're just trying to control the weight, not flinging anything around like I see some guys do. I would rather sacrifice load to make sure my movement, my technique is perfect, and then run the weights up with that perfect technique. That is, in my opinion, the way to apply progressive overload and build muscle. If you're applying progressive overload and your form's different every week, and you are literally trying to move a weight from A to B, there's a good chance that, yeah, you might be quite strong, so to speak, but probably won't have a lot of muscle. Those higher rep sets are by far the ones I struggle with the most. Coming off the back of it, of the top set, and then trying to breathe with that pad fucking jabbing you in the chest. It's not easy. So with the shrug, again, just one straight set, and then we go straight into, so it's a superset straight into some dumbbell retract. So we've done the heavy movement in terms of the shrug itself, and then as you'll have seen me lay on the incline bench, all I'm doing there, all I'm trying to do is retract my shoulders as much as I can, get my traps as short as I can, just essentially just to burn them out a little bit further. It's a good way of getting a lot of work done in just one straight superset, as opposed to maybe running like 3 straight sets on a shrug. This session is quite long as it is, so having something like that in there which gets the work done for my traps, but is also quite time efficient, is quite nice. So with this single arm pull down, you'll see the way I've got it set up, it normally takes me like 3 or 4 goes to set it up, because what I'm trying to do is align my body with where the weight is coming from, so that it's essentially the same as a pull down 1, but 2, it allows me to get my elbow right into that pocket where you can get your lat the shortest, because you've got to think when you do a pull down, you're not just pulling here. What you're trying to do is bring your elbow down and through to get your lat into a shortened position. So that's what this setup is designed to do. It's designed to allow you to get your lat really, really short in probably the easiest way. And then what we're doing is pausing for a second in that contracted position, so when the lat is working its hardest, we're essentially making it work even harder. So you see we're back on the extreme row again now, but the setup's a lot different. So instead of being against the pad, I'm standing, stabilising myself with my other arm, and then we're overloading the stretched range. So when I'm in that stretched position is when the weight is most overloaded, because we've got it on this setting here. So that's why I'm pausing for 2 seconds in the stretch, because that is where the weight is loaded, and then we're going through reps. Do a rear delt cable row. So basically we're just going to do a cable row, neutral grip. I like using this mag grip, and we're just going to aim our elbows at our rear delts. So it's almost like doing a face pull, but with a little bit more of a row in action, still directing a lot of the work onto the rear delts. You can, you know, when you're using a movement in the correct way in terms of applying the intent where you want it, you can make a cable row be very rear delt dominant. So that's what we're going to do here. It's just a different movement that we've got in the arsenal that we can use. It's quite a nice one as well, because it feels a little bit more intense and like you're doing a little bit more than a rear delt fly, something like that. I do have them in another session, but it's nice to have a variety of movements to hit the muscle groups. So with this single arm cable curl, what we're doing is the first set pausing in the contracted position. So again, where the movement is hardest, we're going to be doing the pause there to start with. Well, not necessarily the hardest, but in that contraction, I prefer to pause there first, and in the second set, we're pausing in the stretch position, dropping the weight a little bit. So it's the same movement, but the 2 sets are very different in the way they feel. But it obviously allows for 2 separate sets to run up in terms of progression, and then a drop set on the second set. You'll notice that we drop setted the cable rear delt, cable row rear delt focused. We're going to drop set this bicep curl, and then we're going to rest pause the last bicep curl. So the intensity methods are being used at the end of the session. So I've already got through all the big progressive work, and now I'm applying some intensity methods. If I was to do these methods on the movements earlier on, I'd be wrote off by now, and there would be no progression towards the end of the session. So this allows me to get a lot more out of the session and still get all the work done. So that is a wrap on the pull session. Like I said, we just thought we would go completely raw with a workout, just give you guys some training footage to watch to start with. But if anyone's got any video suggestions or ideas or anything they want to see whilst we're out in Dubai, cool stuff for me and Max to do, put them in the comments below, and we'll see if it's feasible. But yeah, anything you want to see, like I've had a couple of people ask about supplements and my daily supplement stack, so anything surrounding training and nutrition, let me know, and we'll definitely get those videos out for you. But thank you for watching. There is a lot of regular content coming now, so back on the ball with that. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and see you in the next one.